Today is Friday, June 12, 2020. Last night we have frost warning, so I'm going to check right now my vegetables, all my gardens, my fruit trees, my flowers, and see if they get frost last night. And right now it is 12 o'clock at noon, and still it is 50 degrees outside and feels like 40. Also, I'm making bread today to help increase the heat or temperature inside the house. So let's see if what happens to my garden first. And I'm hoping didn't get frost because it is hard to replant again. It is already the second week of June, and June is the first month of our summer here. So hopefully it did not get frost last night. In this area here, it is zucchini and squash. And here, I think I have more squash here. We planted more squash here and more cucumbers. So they are really coming up good right now. So hopefully they are just fine. They don't get any frost. Back to the wall of the garden area, there are some coming up there, and they are sunflower seeds. So it's look like to me they are just fine right now. And all of my tomatoes here, it's look like they are just doing fine. So I'm happy for that. And my lettuce and celery, they are the same. They just look like fine. So that's really makes me happy today. And all my beans and my green peas, my Swiss chards are just doing fine as well. So I'm really excited for all of this. So my apple trees, they look like they are okay. So I'm hoping that the frost warning did not get hurt them last night. Here's my roses here, my perennial roses. They just have starting blooming right now. So all my apple trees here, hopefully they are all good, they are all okay. Right there. And all the flowers there are doing good. My peonies are doing good. More roses. My favorite hostas. Peonies are one of my favorite flowers in the summer. I have one rose here that just opened up. These are my honeyberries, and they are doing good. Usually the birds, chipmunks, and squirrel get the fruits first than me, but they need food too, so that's fine. But these are my honeyberries. It look like they are blueberries. They have a tart flavor, so they are good of making jelly or jam. And they are actually, I read online that they are very healthy. This tree in front of me is one of our pear trees, and I'm really excited to see one pear tree here because I have not seen fruits for how many years we planted this tree. And I thought they need longer summer, even though when we bought this tree, they are supposed to be good on the area, Zone 3 areas where we live, but I have not seen any fruits on these trees. Oh my God, I'm really excited. There's one over there, so hopefully it will make it. Did not get frost last night. And why the colors is kinda like red and green. Hopefully the frost last night did not get damaged with this fruit, only fruit here. right now that I'm seeing on this tree. I'm really excited to tell my husband right now. And this is one of the pear tree. There's nothing in this tree. So I'm wondering why on the other tree, on the other pear tree has one fruits, tiny fruits in there. Because they're supposed to pollinate both. And this is one of our cherry tree here. So you can see the small cherry here already. All the fruit trees in front of our yard are doing okay. This is June plants. I'm serious. This is June. They bloom every June and they have a very pretty flowers. They have kind of like tall flowers and they open up each one of them like there. And actually they are perennial. What I did was I just planted one time from seeds and they scattered everywhere in my garden. That saves me from buying and spending a lot of money every summer. To plant perennials are good ideas, especially in the areas that we live in. We have zone 3 areas that has only 3 months of summer. So it's good idea to plant perennials so it will keep coming back every year and minimize of spending too much for the annual or summer flowers. So this is what I'm talking about, the June flowers. See how pretty it is? They are very pretty flowers. And these are my chives. So here's the thing, you cannot kill the chives. Once it's in your garden, you cannot kill them. It will be there forever. This is why I literally planted one time chive seeds and they established in one area in my garden and I split them and it's looked like they were scattered everywhere and I throw some of them away and I have found that they grow in that area where I throw them away too. So yeah, if you think that you don't have green thumb, try to plant chives and you will be surprised. The bumblebee is loving the June flower. The only thing that I did for this June flower, because if you buy them at the greenhouse, they are quite a bit pricey. But I just planted them one time in my garden from seeds and they keep coming up every summer. Cilantro's doing good. Parsley starting coming up. Dill here is doing good. Basil is doing good as well. More parsley and more parsley here. It's look like to me they are doing great. Hopefully. And cilantro. This cilantro I might divide them one of this day because they look like it's crowded in this one planter. And basil, there's oregano here and few lavender coming up. I don't know if it is lavender or weeds, and mints, and I don't know what happened to mints, if I kill the seeds or what, because I don't think I able to kill the mints that easily because they are look like invasive when I planted them one time in one of my garden area. That's why I decided to plant this time in the container because they are too they grow too fast. They take all over the garden. So I decided to plant them in the container this time. And I'm wondering, until now, there's no mints coming up yet. And I think the bird are mad right now because I'm closer maybe to the nest, which is I don't know where it is. One of these trees, big trees in our yard right now. Because I don't know. He's just really sounds like mad. I was just checking the weather forecast, and it is 4 o'clock right now in the afternoon, and the weather forecast says we are in the 60s, where it feels like 40s outside. So hopefully we don't get frost tonight. And it is nice right now, sunshine, but the truth is it feels like 40s. It's cold. So I'm done baking with my bread, and I'm just checking outside again to see if they really make a change since I made a video this morning. My husband is watering our garden downhill right now. Still hoping that there's no more frost tonight and everything in the garden will be okay. It looks like to me that my husband was weeding the garden here a little bit because it wasn't look like this morning. And maybe when he is watering the garden downhill, at the same time he is trying to weed the garden out here, which is nice of him. This tree in front of me, or shrub, it is, I don't know what's the name of this tree, but they have very tiny flowers. It's almost mix of pink and white colors, and they are favorite of all butterflies and bees. There's a butterflies. Before we start replanting hostas or hosta, I'm going to show you my hostas collection. These groups of hostas here are the first group that I planted. And I already divided them to some areas. This hosta here is my favorite of all of them, and because they have a bigger leaves and the leaves are formed like hearts. So I'm going to take some of the hostas here from this bunch to replant to the other side of our house. So you have to make sure that the hostas has a lot of roots, clump of roots in it before you planted them or replant them into a different areas. For the hole where I'm going to plant the hostas, I have to make sure that the hole is wide and big enough for the hosta to hold. So I'm excited to see all of my flowers, all my vegetables and fruit trees are looks like they are doing fine.